Hey everyone! Before we dive into today's cosmic madness, massive thanks to all of you who've been liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Seriously, the support you're giving keeps this interstellar spaceship running. Every like is basically rocket fuel that helps us push further into the weird and wonderful universe we love exploring. And seeing new faces discovering our work every day, that's honestly better than finding a new planet made of chocolate. So, yeah, thank you from the bottom of the cosmos. All right, today we've got something wild. The interstellar visitor returns. 3I/Atlas faces the sun on October 30th. Now, that title might sound like a trailer for the next space action movie, and to be honest, it kind of is. Except it's real, and this one doesn't need a Hollywood budget. Picture this: a piece of rock and ice, not from our solar system, but from another star entirely, just drifting casually into our cosmic backyard like it forgot which galaxy it came from. This isn't just any comet. This is 3I/Atlas, an interstellar traveler speeding through space like it's late for an appointment with destiny. The first time astronomers spotted it, they almost didn't believe it was real. We've only seen a few confirmed visitors from beyond the solar system before, and each one broke some rule of physics as if space itself decided to troll us. But 3I/Atlas? Oh boy, this one's special. When the telescope zoomed in, it looked like it had wrapped itself in this glowing, unnatural green aura. It wasn't the mellow green of a traffic light, it was like someone glued a neon sign to the vacuum of space. Normally, green comets aren't shocking. We know they glow thanks to a simple chemical process. Sunlight zaps molecules of diatomic carbon, those tiny carbon pairs, and they emit a crisp green light. It's Science 101. But here's the kicker: 3I/Atlas doesn't have those molecules. They're just not there. It's like a ghost wearing clothes it doesn't own. Imagine a cupcake that smells like chocolate but has zero chocolate in it. That's 3I/Atlas. The universe basically handed astronomers a riddle that makes no chemical sense. And scientists hate that because when something disrespects chemistry, they don't sleep. Spectroscopic scans from telescopes like Hubble and James Webb confirmed it wasn't a software bug or a lens flare. The green halo is actually real, but the stuff that should cause it is completely missing. So either this comet found an entirely new way to shine, or someone out there is showing off their alien chemistry skills. But wait, it gets weirder. The comet's moving in a hyperbolic orbit, which is just a fancy way of saying, one way ticket, no return. It swoops through our solar system once, tips its hat, and disappears forever into deep space. And it's fast, like 56 kilometers per second fast. That's about 125,000 miles per hour. If it had a license plate, it would just say from elsewhere. Add to that, the coma, the huge cloud of gas and dust around it, is freakishly large, bigger than the planet Jupiter. That's like a grain of sand wearing a balloon the size of a planet. And this gigantic glow is blasting through space as if it wants every telescope on Earth to notice. But wait, there's no water vapor like we'd expect. Instead, it's heavy on carbon dioxide and nickel and missing something critical: iron. That's not just strange. It's like going to a pizza restaurant and discovering they ran out of dough but still serve pizza. Scientists are scratching their heads so hard, they might sandpaper their skulls. So here's where things start sounding like sci fi, but stick with me. Some researchers are whispering that maybe this glow isn't natural at all. What if it's a signal? Think about it: an artificial light, a glowing message like a cosmic billboard saying, hey, we've been here before. Could it be deliberate? Nobody wants to admit it publicly, but it's definitely in the group chat. And that theory isn't coming from random Reddit users with tinfoil hats. Some of the biggest observatories have admitted that the data doesn't fit any normal pattern. And speaking of patterns, get this: a few scientists traced the object's past trajectory backward through time. Guess where it came from? The same region of the sky where, in 1977, astronomers detected the legendary, wow, signal, a strong radio burst that's never been explained. Yeah, that one. So, what if that transmission, that mysterious 72-second cosmic ping, came from this same traveler decades ago? Sounds too wild, right? But mathematically, the odds aren't impossible. It's like discovering an old postcard and realizing it's from your unexpected dinner guest. Of course, as usual, NASA's tight lipped. They're monitoring, which in government astronomy speak means we're either fascinated, terrified, or building a PowerPoint about it. Even the US Space Force has reportedly reallocated surveillance time to track it. Because when an object defies physics and glows like an alien green disco ball, you don't just ignore it. And their concern isn't only scientific. Bright, unpredictable glows like this could overload sensors, creating what some insiders call a photon blackout. In simple terms, this thing could literally blind some of our space instruments temporarily. And if that happens near military satellites, well, you get why the suits are sweating. But here's the date everyone's watching: October 30th. That's when 3I slash Atlas reaches perihelion, its closest approach to the sun. When that happens, all bets are off. If the glow's caused by an alien molecule, it's about to get a power boost. If it's just nickel throwing a chemical tantrum, it might flare up like an interstellar firework. But if, and this is the big cosmic if, it's something artificial, then October 30th might be the first time humanity gets a clear answer to a question we've been shouting into the void: are we alone? Every major telescope, from Webb to TESS, will have its lenses locked on this thing. Scientists are practically camping in labs, waiting for what the data will reveal. Even radio telescopes are tuning in, just in case the green light has a frequency pattern hidden inside it, a cosmic Morse code waiting to be heard. And if it does, imagine that moment: humanity's first verified hello from beyond the stars, glowing bright enough for the whole solar system to see. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This could still be nature playing one of its classic pranks on us. You know, like when quantum physics says particles can be in two places at once, and we all pretend that makes sense. Either way, it's exciting. The fact that something this bizarre is happening in our lifetime is mind blowing. And who knows, maybe years from now, scientists will finally figure it out and just say, oh, it was comet gas and sunlight all along. Or maybe we'll look back and realize this was the moment the universe waved back. So if you plan on skywatching this October, remember, you're not just looking at another fleeting icy rock. You're looking at an interstellar visitor that shouldn't exist, breaking rules, and lighting up our night sky in ghostly green just to keep us humble. What a time to be alive, right? And hey, if any aliens are watching this video right now, don't forget to subscribe. You could at least help pay for our telescope fund. Thanks again, crew, for being part of this journey. Your comments, theories, and wild ideas keep our curiosity burning brighter than any comet. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars, your mind wide open, and maybe, just maybe, your tinfoil hat within reach. Now, let's rewind a bit. Remember those observations over Mars back in early October? Turns out, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter actually caught a glimpse of something slicing across the Martian night sky at 60 kilometers per second. That's faster than your internet when you finally stop paying for it. But here's the weird part: the data that should have been released publicly disappeared in the vacuum of bureaucracy. Online forums started whispering, did NASA just sit on the footage? Scientists said, hey, relax, calibration takes time, and conspiracy people said, sure it does. You can imagine the chaos. The footage showed what looked like a thin streak with a faint green flash. Now, whether that flash was particle noise or the comet itself giving Mars the middle finger, we may never know. But the timing was perfect, exactly when 3I slash Atlas crossed that stretch of sky. Coincidence? Probably. Freaky coincidence? Absolutely. Let's talk chemistry because, oh boy, this comet does not follow recipes. It's missing diatomic carbon, the molecule that should be making it green, but somehow glows bright enough to burn retinas. Nickel is present, iron is not. That's like finding peanut butter without jelly. These two elements are siblings forged together in supernovae. The universe apparently decided, let's separate the twins for fun. And then we had cyanogen, a literal poison gas. The comet is basically space showing off its chaotic neutral energy. Look at me, I'm beautiful and probably fatal. Now picture the scene at Mission Control. Teams staring at spectra, scratching their heads, chugging coffee, muttering, what the hell is that curve? Scientists hate when math doesn't add up, and 3i slash atlas is basically a walking math meme. Every wavelength scan came back saying error 404, logic not found. That's when someone proposed the wild idea: what if it's not a glow, but a message? What if those emissions are patterned, modulated in frequency, like a light code? Astronomers had officially entered the cosmic Morse code phase of existential panic. Radio telescopes joined the hunt, scanning every possible frequency. And you know what they found? Nothing. Not radio noise, not static, just silence, which ironically made everyone more paranoid. The excitement ramped up as October progressed. With perihelion approaching on the 30th, you could feel the tension across observatories. Even the Space Force tuned in. And when that happens, you know it's serious. Space Force doesn't watch comets for fun. They watch them because if it suddenly turns or splits, you want to know if it's nature or mission control from somewhere else. The term they quietly used was photon denial scenario. Sounds fancy, but basically it means this thing is glowing so bright it can jam optical sensors. That's right, it could literally blind spy satellites. If something wanted to hide behind 3i slash Atlas, it would be invisible. Imagine an interstellar stealth screen made of pure green radiation. That's the kind of idea that gives both scientists and generals a headache. Meanwhile, regular people, us mortals with backyard telescopes and too much curiosity, were trying to see it. The irony? 3i slash Atlas was practically unobservable from Earth. During its closest solar approach, it was lined up almost perfectly behind the sun from our vantage point, invisible in the glare. So we're all staring at simulation software while the real thing burns across the inner solar system. It's like being invited to the universe's biggest fireworks show, but the screen says buffering. When data blackout happens, speculation thrives. YouTubers, hey, that's our job, start connecting dots. Scientists debate in polite PowerPoints. Reddit goes feral. And NASA says nothing. Classic silence strategy. We neither confirm nor deny the cosmic weirdness currently underway. This radio silence fueled everything from it's an alien probe to it's a biological organism feeding on sunlight. Yeah, someone actually suggested that a space jellyfish absorbing solar energy. And honestly, at this point, who can say for sure? It's not like anything about this thing makes sense. Now, if this was a movie, this is exactly the part where some stern voice from Mission Control would say, we've got movement. Because guess what? 2 days before perihelion, telescopes caught a flicker like the green glow pulsed. Once, then again, then stabilized. It wasn't random noise. It looked periodic. Patterns. And the scientists lost their collective minds. Was it rotation? Probably. Maybe the comet's tumbling, exposing different jets. But those intervals matched something eerily regular, 72 seconds. The same duration as the WOW signal detected in 1977. Coincidence number 47 in the case file of cosmic creepiness. Let's take a mental pause because up until now, we have a glowing green alien snowball, missing its basic elements, defying chemistry, and pulsing like it's on a schedule. If this isn't the most sci fi thing that's ever happened for real, nothing is. Observatories synchronized to monitor every pulse, but signal to noise ratios made it messy. Still, something seemed rhythmic, as if the universe had decided to start playing a drum solo. October 30th arrives, perihelion day. The comet passes closest to the sun, diving headfirst into solar fire. Normally, that spells trouble. Many comets split or vaporize. But when solar observatories tuned in, 3i slash Atlas didn't dim. It got brighter, way brighter, enough to rival Venus in magnitude, except green. For a brief half hour, instruments detected a radiation spike, so intense even stable detectors freaked out. Then dead silence. Light output dropped instantly, almost like someone flipped a switch. Not faded, not decayed, gone. You can imagine the panic. Was it destroyed? Disintegrated? Or did it just stop glowing? And if it stopped glowing, why? Then, 3 days later, boom, a signal. Small, faint, but there. Infrared emissions from the same coordinates, moving on exactly the escape trajectory predicted by the hyperbolic curve. The object survived. Half the scientific community cheered. The other half muttered, "That's not possible." The reading suggested the nucleus held together despite temperatures that should have turned it to dust. It somehow shrugged off solar heat like it had SPF infinity. The word artifact started creeping into classified discussions. Now we hit December. The comet emerges from solar conjunction, visible again to Earth based observatories. First images come in, and no one is prepared. Instead of a neat comet tail, 3I slash Atlas now has three. Trident shaped, perfectly symmetrical, each tail aligned at 120 degrees. If that sounds geometric, it is. Nature doesn't do symmetry like that. The memes wrote themselves. 3I slash Atlas, the logo of cosmic intelligence. But for astronomers, it triggered a collective meltdown. Computer models couldn't explain it. Jet plumes? Maybe. Magnetic alignment? Maybe. Art? Possibly. The geometry raised eyebrows everywhere. Think about it. A natural comet ejects gas jets in random directions depending on its shape and spin, making messy spirals. But this was clean, almost engineered, as if the comet were deliberately distributing mass evenly. Spectral readings showed faint spikes at precise light frequencies during each plume realignment, as though coordinating actions. Even skeptics started using phrases like non ballistic behavior. The word maneuver floated into reports and got quietly deleted before publication. Now, don't picture some shiny UFO with antennas and thrusters, no. This is still a hunk of frozen chaos. But the way it behaves hints at a kind of emergent intelligence, like the object understands how to survive. 3I slash Atlas might not be a probe, it might simply be a survivor. Born in the extreme violence of another solar system, shaped by forces we can't model, hardened by radiation, learning through cosmic trial and error how not to die when passing near suns. Nature itself could be the engineer. Think of it like evolution's long distance student, a traveler that figured out how to keep flying forever. Here's where it gets philosophical. If we're right, this comet might carry interstellar amino acids, not just frozen gases. Early radio mass spectroscopy hinted at complex organics, the kind that form building blocks of life. Which means this isn't just a comet, it's a delivery system, a seed messenger tossed from a distant system, carrying the story of its birth. Every spin, every jet, every flash of green light could be part of that story. And we, the tiny humans pointing telescopes from a dusty rock, get to watch it unfold. But of course, because humans can't resist drama, theories exploded. Alien beacon, extraterrestrial probe, time capsule from another civilization. You name it, someone said it. Meanwhile, NASA kept doing the most NASA thing ever: open meetings titled Preliminary Post-Photometric Data Assessment. Translation: we saw something cool, but let's triple check it. Astronomers are allergic to excitement without error bars. And fair enough, one wrong variable can turn alien artifact into oops, that was dust. But still, even the most cautious scientists admitted this thing is rewriting rulebooks. Around mid December, the James Webb Telescope, that space paparazzi with perfect lenses, detected infrared flickers inconsistent with standard rotation. Picture the comet pulsing once every few minutes, dumping energy in discrete bursts, not random sublimation. It's like it's breathing. The idea of a comet inhaling sunlight and exhaling radiation patterns is poetic and terrifyingly strange. Some scoffed. Others started quietly building new models. Because if this behavior repeats, it means 3I slash Atlas has internal structure, maybe even chambers regulating heat like cells in a living thing. Of course, calling the comet alive sends scientific Twitter into meltdown, so the official term became thermodynamically adaptive substructure. Bureaucratic poetry, right? But get this, a French observatory went rogue and published something shocking: traces of ammonia based compounds emitting in sync with each radiation pulse. Ammonia is vital for storing chemical energy. Life adjacent chemistry, in other words. Suddenly, everyone's saying, forget finding life on Mars, life just photobombed our star. If that's true, then 3I slash Atlas isn't just a messenger. It's a sample capsule from another biosphere, frozen and preserved by time itself. By late December, as it drifted beyond Venus's orbit, the light curve settled, but one strange thing didn't. The glow's color shifted. The green faded slightly into turquoise, then sapphire blue. That's what happens when energy radiates through different molecular layers. It's almost like peeling layers of a cosmic onion again, each new hue telling us something about composition. And then someone noticed the weirdest detail of all. The light frequency of those shifts corresponded precisely to hydrogen emission intervals from the WOW signal region in Sagittarius. It's like the comet was echoing that ancient cosmic ping 48 years later. In other words, if the WOW signal was hello, 3i slash Atlas might just be you up. Now, it's crucial to say no one's declaring first contact. No aliens waving from the coma with little metallic flags. What we can say is the universe just handed us a glowing interstellar riddle carved in green fire. Every reading, every anomaly, every pulse adds a line to a story no one expected. And somewhere out there, other civilizations might be watching their own comets, wondering if we're doing the same thing. So, what happens next? The comet will keep racing outward, back into interstellar space. Telescopes will monitor it until its light fades beyond detection. But its data will live forever, a digital fingerprint of a traveler that refused to obey the rules. And you know it's kind of poetic? Just like 3i slash Atlas leaves our skies glowing green for a moment before disappearing forever, we humans do the same in our own way, brief, bright, and trying to understand this beautiful mess of a universe before we vanish into the dark. So keep watching the stars. Maybe, somewhere in the next 1,000 years, another civilization will spot a faint green glow passing by and ask the same questions we did tonight. Maybe that's how the universe talks, silently, across light years, through comets and chemistry and impossible symmetry. Or maybe it's all just nature showing off because it knows we're finally paying attention. Either way, 3i slash Atlas has left its mark. A cosmic graffiti on the canvas of existence, saying, hey, you're not as alone as you think. And that, friends, is why we chase these mysteries. Because the impossible makes life interesting, and in the vast emptiness of space, curiosity is the brightest light we've got. So keep that curiosity burning, keep supporting our cosmic adventures with your likes and subscribes, and remember, when the universe speaks in glowing green riddles, we'll be here, translating the madness with a smile.